Bruchem Aboim B'Shem Irgun Shir Torah. We'd like to welcome everyone to today's shir from Rabbi Yakov Zev Smith Shlita on the Indian of giving gifts, a halachic overview. We would like to have the great schus of sponsoring a shir. Call Irgun Shir Torah at 718-851-8651 or email tapecenter@yeshivanet.com.
Okay, I started this journey with a simple shaila. Someone got a bottle of expensive wine as a gift. It was a non-kosher wine, and he wanted to give it to a different colleague of his, a non-Jewish colleague. You know what we call in English, we use that word regifting. Take the gift that he can't use anyhow and give it to a different person that he had to give. And this started a beautiful journey that as we'll see, touches upon 6 major sugyas. But as our Yesod always is, B'ez Hashem, I think we found one Yesod, which I think is the important halachic definition of the word matana. Now to us, a matana is a gift. You give a gift, as a nice gesture. But as we'll see, and allow me to explain this, matana is probably more accurately defined as a investment. And to use the Gemara's lashon, matana kemecha, and let me explain. There's no doubt about it that giving a gift is a very important form of hakaras hatoiv. And hakaras hatoiv, as we know, is one of the yesodis of avodas Hashem. It's more than just menschlichkeit. You look in the Chayvus Levavos, he first has a shar bechina where he explains the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then following that is avodas Elokim. When someone appreciates the Rebbeinu Shalom, he understands the Chiyuv hakaras hatoiv, and that naturally brings avodas Hashem. And what's also true, someone that's kafui toiva, Chazal tell us, Soifei lachbar b'teivas shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You look in the beginning of Parshas Hazinu, a very devastating accusation. Yidner am novel v'loy chacham. So Rashi, the Ramban teach, they're kafui toiv. That's the ruination of a person if he's not makir toiv. Understandably, a gift is a very good way of being makir toiv. And even to a guy, as we'll see, there's also an inyan of hakaras hatoiv when necessary. The Sefer Chassidim in Siman Tavshin Mem Vav writes, if someone received a favor from a guy, he's allowed to say about the guy, Zechreinu Levracha. In those days they said it on a living person. And the Rai is incredible. The Yishalmi and Megillah Gimel Zayin says, V'gam charvoyne zochol hatoiv. Presumably was a guy. More so, says the Sefer Chassidim in Siman Tavshin Tzaddik, if a guy did a favor for you, you're allowed to daven for his atzlacha. Now davening is a wonderful matana to give him, but that's the point. We're makir toiv to a guy if necessary. I saw a Yitzchak Zilbershon Zayin Gesund in the Sefer Malacha Mamnayach was asked the question where a galach, a priest, did a favor for a yid. Is the yid allowed to reciprocate by hakaras hatoiv? So he says it's a Ferisha pasuk in the end of Parashas Vayigash. What's there? The pasuk says Yosef instituted rak admas hakehanim leikana ki choik lekehanim. Even though he took away the lands from most of Mitzrayim, but the kehanim, and Rashi teaches does not mean a kohen as alahelu kehanim. Kehanim is a koimer, a galach. He didn't touch the land of the galachim. Why? So if you look in the Targum Yonason, don't forget it was a Tana. He says because when Yosef was struggling with Eishes Peitifar and he was falsely accused, the galachim helped him get out of trouble. So as a hakaras hatoiv to the kaimrim, he made a rule that exempted all kaimrim in Mitzrayim. So you see, you're allowed to makir toiv even to a galach, certainly to a goyish worker. But then you see another aspect of matana in the Torah, which is obviously the Ratzon Hashem, the Das Elokim, to give a worker a gift when he deserves it. Don't forget, we find the chinuch actually makes it a lavan asay. Taf pei aleph and taf pei beis is the mitzvah of giving an eved ivri when he finishes his work. Hanik tanik loy. You can send them out chinam. That's a lav. There's a mitzvah hanik tanik. Zok the chinuch. Why? To train us to be good people. He worked hard. He was devoted. So reward him. You'll say, I don't have an eved ivri today. The chinuch continues, Af bizman hazeh, a person should learn a lesson someone that worked hard for you, show appreciation. So that's the Ratzon Hashem, to give a worker a gift. I also found what we think is our own idea. When you go to someone's house for Shabbos, you give a hostess gift. Is that our own chiddush? That's a Gemara. The Gemara in Megillah Daf Chavav says that when Yidden came to Oile Regel, the people they stayed by were not allowed to charge rent. But the Balabatim would, Mar's Lashon is, Noitlim Bezraya, they took the skin that the people that brought the Karbonis had from Karbonis, because it was mutabana, and they basically took it from their guests. Why? So Gemara Shma Amabai Shma Mina Oirech Ara LeMishbek Inish Gulfa Umishcha Bushpizia. He gave you free room and board. Where's your karasatoiv? So much so you're allowed to expect a gift that if he doesn't give it, you're allowed to take it. Mamish forcefully take the oirais of the kachim because he stayed by you. So that's part of the derech eretz kadma l'Torah. You have to have a feeling of akaras hatoiv to the extent of neitlin bizraya. Again, a lesson in akaras hatoiv, which makes a matana to a worker maybe sort of a chiyuv, a haniktanik to a hostess. Maybe it's this gemara. And I must add, especially if the gift is expected, and especially if you're dealing with a non-Jewish worker, by not giving a gift that is supposed to be given could be a very serious chil Hashem. I always find this Gemara amazing. In Chul and Daf Zayin, the Gemara tells a story. Rav Pinchas Ben Yair was going to do a mitzvah pidyon shvuya, but he couldn't travel further because the Nahar Gunay was in his way. There was a raging river. So he said, split for me. And the Gunay says, why? I'm doing a Ratzon Hashem, you're doing a Ratzon Hashem, and a whole vikuach. If you don't, I'm gonna split you. And as the Gemara says, he was demanding a nest that maybe was bigger than Kriyas Yamsuf for him himself. And the Gunay relented and split. Zok the Gemara, then Rabbi Pinchas said, wait, there's another Yid that has to get across. He's also doing a mitzvah. Split for him. But the story didn't end there. Zok the Gemara, there was an Arab that was escorting Rabbi Pinchas Ben Yair as he went. It doesn't seem like he was his gabbai or helping him. They're walking together. A b'nei levaya. So Pinchas Ben Yair turns to the Ginoi and says, split chalaik nami laha. Why? The leilema, that Goyim shouldn't say, kach oistin lebnei levaya. Imagine the guy, he's walking with a Pinchas Ben Yair, and all of a sudden Pinchas Ben Yair walks across, he splits literally, and leaves him behind. So the guy will say, what kind of behavior does the Jews have? I'm walking with him and he leaves me behind? So it's Mavel HaRayim that Reb Pinchas Ben Yair demanded a nes greater than Kriyas Yamsuf for a guy, because it's unbecoming of a Yid to act that way. When we do something that the Goyim say, Kach Oisin, that's a chil Hashem that is unforgivable. Don't forget, the Mishnah says in Avos, Echad Shoygach HaMeitz B'chil Hashem. No, if a gift or a tip is expected and we don't give it, there could be that horrible time of Kach Oisin. And everybody said, I wasn't sure if I should say this, but I think it's an important message from the terrible massacre, Rahman al-San, in Jersey City. Someone told me the other day that the Goyim said that we're angry at the Jews because they don't tip. Now that's a horrible achzari to say such a thing. You don't kill people because they don't tip. It's terrible achzaris. I don't want to mention in Beis Medrash. But just the thought that look at the price we pay, the sinas Yisrael, because kach. Now of course that I'm sure the Yidden weren't guilty with that, but this is the pacha that we have to have. We can't do something that will elicit a response of kach, especially if we understand that tipping or a matana for a worker is the das halikim, the ratzon ha'torah. So now we have to learn the sugi with a little more seriousness. It seems that a matana sometimes is an obligation. What are the halachas regarding giving gifts? So let's begin with in Yana D'Yom, you have a worker, Chanukah is coming, and you want to give him a gift, but he's not religious. So there's no doubt about it, it's pashut. You can't go out and buy a tray for a bottle of wine and give it to him because he doesn't care. Anyhow, he drinks tray for wine. And I'll save money because treif is much cheaper than kosher wine. So that's obviously lifnei iva. You're giving a yid to do an issur. Now the fact that he doesn't care is his problem, but I have to care. So there's no doubt about it, you can't give a fryer worker non-kosher food at all. But what's important, we find a Ramah and a Machaba that give us a little more insight. The Ramah on the end of Kuf Samach Gimel says you're not allowed to give a fryer yid bread to eat if he won't wash netilas yadayim. Why? That's also lifnei iva. Yeah, I'm giving him a piece of bread, but he's not going to wash. And of course the question is, washing is only a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. He doesn't do a d'Rabbanan, and I'm guilty of a d'Oraisa of lifnei iva. Zokte minchas chinuch in Reish Lamed Beis, yes. Because if you give bad advice to another yid, about milu d'alma in fact, that's eitz she'eino genes. The biggest eitz she'eino genes is you cause a yid to do an aveira. So it's not the aveira shaboy, it's the eitz she'eino genes. But be that as it may, this is a Ramah, you can't give food if he won't wash. The Machab in Kuf Samach Tes Siv Bey says you can't give food to someone who will not make a bracha on it. Lav dafka bread. To give a box of chocolate or a bottle of kosher wine to a fryer yid who is known not to make brachas is lifnei iva leisita hechsher. Now we once spoke about the sugya of lifnei iva. At times you have to give. Imagine you have a worker, an irreligious worker working in your house. It's a hot summer day. He's painting your house, and after 4 hours, he gathers his courage. Can I have a drink of water? And you say no. So he says, just water. And he asks, I can't. You're not going to make a bracha. So that's you're making a bigger mechsher by not giving him the water. If you give him the water, he doesn't make a bracha. That's a mechsher. But causing sinas hadas to the extent I asked him for a cup of water, he didn't give it to me. Or any time when the kibud is expected, not giving it is a bigger mechsher. So that's when you have to give someone a drink. You have an irreligious relative or acquaintance. If you don't give him, it's going to be a chil Hashem. So the chil Hashem is a bigger mechsher. But in our case, you have to give a gift. Why do you have to give food? So what are you going to do? You're going to give a nice dish. He doesn't toivel it. So well, maybe that's not as bad. It's not a hechsher issur. So in that same tshuva, he discusses it. In fact, Rabbi in Yerideyas Siman Ayin Beis says, you can't give someone a nice pen and pencil set or a pot. He'll use it on Shabbos. But then again, it's Tuesday today. So that seems a little extreme. But one thing we see, to give food to an irreligious person that won't make a bracha is lifnei iva. So there is eitzes, give him a nice bouquet of flowers, or I think it's kedai to mention, very often the best gift is to give him a book. Now don't buy him a Zoya Kaddish, but buy him something that might be that spark that will ignite the pintala yid in him. A book that's not something down his down your throat, but something nice, something reading. He'll see there's a Yiddishkeit out there. But again, to give him food if he won't make a bracha is a problem. To give him a keli that's not chayiv and tefillah is certainly mutter, but you have to choose the gift properly. Then we begin sugya number 2, and that's the following story that happens quite often. Someone asked me, he got a very, very expensive bottle of wine, and of course he can't drink it, it's non-kosher. Can he give it to one of his workers who will feel very beholden to him? Wow, you spent all this money on this expensive bottle of wine. And the person asks, maybe that's genivat das. Now this is another big sugya. There's no doubt about it, genivat das, fooling another person, even a goy, is an issur chama. As the Gemara says in Chulin Tzadik Dalad, also lignayv das habriyos, afilu daiti shel akum. The Tosefta in the beginning of Bava Kama Perek Zayin says there are 7 ganovim, and the worst is genivat das habriyos. Rabbeinu Yoina in Shara Tshuva Gimel Kuf Pei Dalet says the chet of genivat das is worse than geneva by Chachma Yisrael. Yan biyan kisva sheka ashma rabba v'nischayavnu al gidrei ha'emes ki him yisoidei ha'nefesh. Cheating is terrible, but a breach in honesty, fooling someone, shows you forgot that the Rebbeinu Shalom is emes, the Torah is emes, we have to be emes. There's a lot to say, but Genevas Das is the very opposite of Avodas Hashem. But what's interesting is the Gemara has, in that sugya in Chulin, has one example of Genevas Das to give a guy meat that he thinks is kosher. Why is that Genevas Das? Zok Rashi, because he thinks you spend extra money to give him kosher meat, and nimtza machzik loy toivel chinam. The guy will be beholden to you. Hey, he spent so much money on me, I feel so honored. I'll be a better person, I'll be a better worker. So besides the breach in emes in Genevas Das, there's also a chayshim mishpat issue. You're getting a karasat toiv you don't deserve. Look what he spent for me. And here we really see matana kemecha. Because a matana is not just a nice expression of goodwill, it's an investment. You give him something and he reciprocates. But here we see that giving, re-gifting, like we say, might be a Genevas Das. He thinks you bought it. But we have an important yesod in the same Gemara. The Gemara tells a story that Mar Zutra was walking one way, Rav Safra and Rav were coming the other way, and Rav Mar Zutra thought that they had come to greet him. So Mar Zutra said very sheepishly, wow, you're coming to give me such covet, why do I deserve it? So says the Gemara, Rav Safra said, no, we didn't come to greet you. I don't want to fool anybody. We didn't come to greet you. We're coming that way anyhow. Why? He was concerned about Genevas Das. But said to my Rava says, you don't have to say that. It's not Genevas Das. We didn't fool him. He fooled himself. Why should he think I came to greet him? I'm walking in the street. So the Paiskim say, when Genevas Das is very serious, but if the person should have known better, and he made his own false assumptions, that's not Genevas Das, that's not fooling him, he's acting foolish. Based on this, I think it's pashit. When someone re-gifts, especially on Purim, you get a shalach manis, and you don't know what to do with it, what do? Give it to someone else. It's common knowledge that people re-gift a gift. So can't we say the person that assumes you spent all this money on me is iyu da'atei anafshe? Now, enachanami, you go into a store and you say, give me the cheapest damaged sefer you have. I don't care if it's missing 50 blot. Just give me the sefer. And you give it to my mitzvah boy because you think I'll never open a sefer anyhow. That's Genevas Das. No one thinks you're buying a damaged sefer. Or you find a receipt that you bought something else and you put it into this shalach manis or this gift to imply that you bought it. So that's Genevas Das. But to re-gift, to take a shalach manis and give to someone else, I think it's common knowledge it's done. I mean, you have to make sure, take out the card that the person gave you. But the fact that you're re-gifting, I don't think is Genevas Das. It's more likely to be iyu da'atei anafshi. But I think there's a more fundamental hechsher, and that is, let's say someone gave me a gift. So obviously I deserve it, because no one gives gifts for no reason. So if I deserved it, and this is worth what it's worth, so I could rightfully give it to you. You know, this is where matana kemecha plays a role. I earned this gift, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten it. I could return it, I could give it to you. So why should it b'chlal be Genevas Das? If I take meat that the guy think is kosher, really treif, so that's taka Genevas Das. So regifting generally is mutter unless you do something to fool the other person. Now we begin our third sugya, and that's based on a pasuk at the end of Yaschanan, Loisichas lahem bris v'loisechanim. Based on this, the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah Daf Chaf, Loisitem lehem matnas chinam. You're not allowed to give, one of the pshatim in the issur Loisechanim is to give a matnas chinam. The main reason for the issur of giving a guy a gift is because you are creating a relationship that could do much damage. So many things were done to maintain a barrier, to erect the Avdol Eschem Min Ha'amim feeling. There's Bishalakum and Pasakum, and now you're giving a gift, you're making an advance to cultivate a relationship. The Chinuch in Mitzvah Tav Chavav says when someone violates Loisechanem, Ein Shei Gadol Ma'oid, Ki Sibul Atakola Meruba, she'ein lo tashlumin. Now, even though he's going on a different part of loisei chanam, but it's the same concept. Loisei chanam is breaking that much needed barrier that could bring much destruction. And this is quoted twice in Shulchan Aruch, in Yeridei Kufn Aleph Yud Aleph and Chayish Mishpat Reish Mem Tes Dalid. Asa litein matnas chinam la'akum. So how could you give a goyish worker a gift or a tip? What about loisei chanam? However, here we come to another important halachic ramification of matana kemecha. If you look at the lashon of the Shulchan Aruch, which is really the lashon of the Gemara in Avodah Zarah Daf Chaf, asa litein matnas chinam. It doesn't asa gift, period. Matnas chinam. Why the word matnas chinam? But in the Tosefta, in the end of Perek Gimel Avodah Zarah, it goes further. Avalam hayesh chenai oy avay hareza muta she'enai ela kamoichrei loy. If you have a worker or a neighbor, then you're allowed to give a gift. She'enai ela kamoichrei loy. Now we're talking about giving a gift. How did mechira come into the picture? L'daiti, this is the yisoid of matana kemecha. The Gemara in Bav Metzia Daf Tezayin says matana kemecha the iloi the torach va'artzi kamei lahaviyav le matana. The point is, people b'derech klal don't give gifts gratis for no reason. You give a gift either is a form of akara satoy, which is the basis of Yiddishkeit, as we said. It's a hoida ala avar. Or very often you give a gift as an investment. And I always say a gift is either haida ala ava or bakasha ala asid. You have a sight for the future. But those are the two parts of matana kemecha. And then you have what's called a matnas chinam. You're giving for no reason. Why are you giving for no reason? Why are you spending your money? The teretz is you're trying to create a relationship. That's matnas chinam that the Torah asid. To give a guy a gift as a karas hatoiv is a Torah hashkafa. We have to be good with the goyim. Don't forget, as we said, kach oisin, there shouldn't be a chil Hashem. But if you have a cheshbon, he's your neighbor, he's your worker, your mailman, if you want. But any case where you feel beholden to him and he expects it, that's not the issur. The matnas chinam is the issur, and matana kemech is the heter. That's why it's not the pshat that you're really not going to give a gift, but if you have a reason, so the reason, the benefit outweighs the issur. Chas v'sholom. If you have a reason to give, it's not the ma'aseh issur. And if you look at the Taz, in Kuf Nun Aleph, Sifkat and Ches, the Taz says, if you know the guy, it's not a matana, it's a mechira, shara yishalem gemulai, oy kvar shilam lai. Either it's a haida ala avar, or it's a bakosha ala asid. And the Lavush in Sifir Al spells it out even more bluntly. You're giving a gift now, so kenegda, he'll be machzik toiva, or you'll have a different benefit. So I think we could say, honestly, there's still zwei dinim. A matnas chinam is vadayasa, and a matana that's expected or needed is not a matnas chinam, that's matana kemecha, and that's mutter. If so, it should be pashit to give a gift to a worker, even a goyish worker, or to give a tip to a worker is the perfect mutter, whether it's to a worker, to a home attendant, to an aide, a cleaning lady. It's basically a matana kemech. It's an important investment. I must tell you, I was afraid to say this because then when is it awesome? Almost never. But I found the Pelayoy, it's an erech goy. He first says we have to make sure we have good relations with the goyim. He says it could be dangerous. And then he says a whole presentation. If the Baruch Shem gives you money, make sure you give goyim gifts. He even used the lashon, give them matnas chinam. That's an investment. Shlach lachem al pnei hamoyim ki b'rei v'yamim timtze'ena. He says you have the extra money, ki hashoichet yaver eineihem, and it's a good investment. He says give a matnas chinam. Isn't that the issur? The Teretz says he understood better. It's not matnas chinam. It's a wise investment to maintain good relationships. Now, in those days, of course, it was pashut also a question of relationships that could be dangerous otherwise if you don't have a good relationship with the goyim. But today, there's still that very important objective that there shouldn't be chalila, a reaction of kach ois, and that's the way the Jews act. So, of course, on the goyish chag day itself, the Mechaber says in Yeridei Kuf Mem Ches, hey, we don't give gifts. So you'll be zrizim magdim al mitzvah, you give it a few days before, or agdume prane is loy magdim and give it afterwards, not on the same day. But definitely to give an expected gift should be done. A tip, I saw both the Ber Moshe and Gimel Kuf Yud Zayin, the Dragamer Zayin Kuf Nun Hey, has no shaila whatsoever. That's not loy sechanim. That's a yid acting with the darkei nayim. That's typical of a yid. Now we begin our fourth sugya, and what gifts should not be given to a goy? We said already to a fry yid, you can't give food if you won't make a bracha. We can't give non-kosher. But could I give any gift to a goy? So one thing, it should be pashut. Things that are Isurei Hana, you can't give because that's Hana. I'll give you an example. Someone gave you basa b'chalav. You can't eat it and you can't give it. You can't regift it because regifting is a form of Hana. The issa Hana is lav dafke eating or selling is any Hana. But we see it's what should be pashut. To buy Isuri Hana to feed your pet food is vadayasa. That's an issa deraisa. Like Savasha Gediba Chalevi, my echad issa Hana. But what sometimes people don't realize, Mr. Bura says is in Hilchas Pesach, Taf Mem Ches, Yivka and Chav Ches, people go to the zoo, and on Chalamay Pesach they buy pet feed. That's often chametz. Zok the Mr. Bura, even if it's not your animal, but the Hana that you get, you feed another animal. You see, people spend money on pet food. It's not theirs. So when someone goes to the zoo, even if he doesn't pick it up, he kicks the chametz closer to the animal. That's a form of hana. That's awesome. Ma'aseh shehaya doesn't happen often, but a Rav gets to shayla occasionally. Somehow that mix-up that we learn about in Yeridei happened. Milk fell into cholent, and there's no shishim. Now this cholent is bas b'chol deraisa, right? You can't eat it. You have to kasher the pot, and don't give the cholent to the goita. That's an issa deraisa of hanav and bas b'cholav. So to regift that is certainly awesome. The question is, let's say I buy a nice package of dry meat. Today you can't give gift a slice of meat, but the dry meat is considered a special gift. But it's treif. It's not the issa hana. It's neveil treifus. Can I give that to a goyish acquaintance or a colleague or a worker? You're wondering why not? I'm not eating it. And there's no issa hana on neveil treifus. And b'chari, there's a pasuk in the Torah. In Parshas Re'eh, lo'isaychul kol nevela, don't eat it. Lager asher b'sharecha titnena v'achala, give it to a ger taishav. Oy mechor v'nachri. Now it's interesting, the ger taishav you give a gift, and the guy you sell. This is why there are some Rishonim, based on a Gemara in Avodah Zarah, Daf Chaf, Psachim, Daf Chaf Aleph, that learn, this is the makar of the issa of matnas chinam to a guy. Because when it comes to a ger taishav, it says give a gift. When it comes to a guy, it says sell it. Why not give to a gift? Because you can't give a gift to a guy if there's no reason. So ger taishav is mutter gift. For a guy, you have to sell. But be that as it may, in any case, the pasuk allows us to have hana from the veils of treifus. Does that mean I could go out and buy non-kosher meat to give it to my goyish workers? Can I go into a business of selling the veils of treifus? So now we come to a Mishnah in Shvius, Perik Zayin, Mishnah Gimel. Ein oisin schayra, and the Mishnah has a long list. Amongst these on the list, you can't do business with nevelis, like treifus, like shkotzin, like remasim. Nevelis of treifus is mutter b'hana. The teretz is hana is mutter, 100%. But to do business is what's known as the issa, and most poskim is the issa deraisa of schayra. In fact, the Gemara Psachim Chav Gimel seems to learn that out of a very pasuk. Sheketz yiu lachem. Lachem it is for hana, But for schayra, sheketziyu. The Taz in the beginning of Yeredeya says you can't be maker with this issur. It's an issur deraisa based on a pasuk. So we see both halachas are true. Having hanah from the Be'el Treifus is perfectly mutter, but to do business is an issur deraisa. Now the big question is, so 1 second. So why could I sell or sell the Be'el Treifus to the guy? The pasuk says mutter. What about the issur schayra? So with that we learn the next Mishnah in Shvius. Tzidei chaya v'oifos v'dogim shen is damgu lehem minim tmeim mutar l'moicham l'nachrim. In other words, as the Gemara explains, you can't do business with Neveil Treifus. But if Neveil Treifus came into your possession, for example, you set out a big net, you caught kosher and non-kosher fish, you didn't buy the non-kosher fish, it came your way, you don't have to throw it out. You could sell it, even for a profit. There's a fundamental difference between doing business and something that came into your possession, you're allowed to sell it to realize a profit. Business is asa, nizdamen is mutter. The same tarfus to sell it as a business is asa. If you got it, you're allowed to sell it. That's nizdamen as mutter. Zokte Beis Yosef, this heta of nizdamen, mikra mola, it's a ferish pasuk. Which pasuk? Oy machar l'nachri. So here we see schayra is an issur deraisa and nizdamen is mutter. Now this is all in Shulchan Aruch, the beginning of Kuf Yud Zayin. The Mechaber says there's an issur, Pasha is an issur deraisa of schayra. In nizdamen is mutter, but an issur derabanan zok the Mechaber, there's no problem of schayra. The issur of schayra is only by an issur deraisa. So someone wants to open up a big supermarket, akum, he'll call it. He's selling bishul, pas, and chalav akum, perfectly mutter. No shayla. Because schayra b'dvar masura midirabanan is mutter. But to sell tarfis deraisa is the issur of schayra. Now the question is, can I buy gifts, non-kosher meat, to give my goyish workers? So, of course, if you have even one friar person at your company, then it's naiva. I'm talking about if it's all goyim. So you're wondering, why not? I'm not eating it, and I'm not selling it. So it's regular hanah from the Be'el Treifus. But Rabbi say, for us, it's masig midvash. This is a primary example of matana kemecha. I'm buying a gift to give to the workers, either a dollar or a kabbalah la'asid. That's an investment. And it wasn't as damin, I went out to buy the meat. So for two reasons, buying gifts to give to workers is awesome. Number one, it's not nizdamin, and number two, it's a wise business investment. That's like matana kemecher. And if you say that, baruch shekivanta, because Agoyis Maimoni in the end of Perek Ches of Macholos Asuris, he says, "Liknois yayin nesech oy dog tamay oy shar dava asa v'litnei legoyim is asa." You can't buy isurim to give a guy. Now there's a plea here because yayin nesech. Why is that together with dog tamay? Dog tamay is mutabano. Yayin nesech is asa bano. We'll get back to that. But what we see in Agoyis Maimoni, to buy tarfus to give to a guy is awesome. Frek the Beis Yosef and Simon Kuf Yud Zayin. Why is it awesome? Zok the Beis Yosef nearly atam mishum matana kamecha. If you get an item, if someone gave you a piece of meat, to re-gift it is mutter. Why? Because you didn't buy it. That's nizdamen. Re-gifting tarfus is okay. It's only hanah. But to go out and buy it, that's chayra. You're not selling it, you're giving it as a gift, but that's matana kemecha. And if you look in the Taz, and also in Kuf Yud Zayin, on a very fundamental chiddush of the Ramah says, if someone has goyish workers, he shouldn't buy tarfus to feed them for lunch. Why? That's a form of schayra. Zok the Taz, and besides that, tray for food is much cheaper than kosher food. So you're saving money on these purchases. So that's another reason why buying tray for gifts to give your workers is matana kemecher, And also you're saving money on the deal, and that's why it's us. So to buy a corporate gift of Neveos Utreves to give to your workers would be us. Now consider the following question, but think about it. Someone was owed big money by a certain business that bankrupted. But they said, we have a big shipment of non-kosher meat. If you want it, it's yours. You could recover some of your losses. Could the Yid take all that meat and sell it for a profit? So that Rabbi says is the first pasuk in the Torah. That is a classic example of nizdaming. He didn't go out and buy it. It came his way. And who says this? Not me. The Hagoyis Maimis that I said earlier. In the beginning of the shtickle, he says, "Mikan hitiru la'adam sheyig v'chayvay." You're allowed to collect a debt with dvarim tameim, and you're allowed to sell it. Why is it? What's the chilek pashit? To go buy gifts to give is awesome, but if you getting this is coming your way as a form of payment for a chayv, that's nizdamein, and it's mutter even to sell it. So both halves, both are a pasuk in the Torah. So we see. Issur is a deraisa pashtis, and his damnein is mikra molei that it's mutter. Now, oy bazoi, if you get an expensive gift, to regift it is perfectly mutter, even if it's a veil sutrefis. You'll say, wait a minute, but if I throw it out, I'm not really losing, because I didn't pay for the gift, I got it for free. So shtei tshuvas b'dava. First of all, if nizdamen is mutter, who cares how you got it? And also, it's not even true. Because if you got a gift, you deserve the gift. You invested to get that gift. Time or money, whatever it is. If a guy gave you a gift, you deserve it. So, matana kemecha l'kula, and therefore you could take it and give it to another worker. So definitely to regift a neveil sutrefis would be mutter als nizdamen. Now we start our fifth sugya, and that is the question of wine. Today wine is a very popular gift. Can you buy non-kosher wine to give your non-Jewish workers? Again, we're not talking about any Frei Yidden in the business. So the chayra, what's the problem? It's stam yenam, is the rabbanon. You could have hanea from an issur rabbanon of chayra. But here we come to a very important yediyah. There's an issur deraisa of yayin nesech. To make a very long story short, yayin nesach that was poured for avodah zarah is asa b'hanah. Not just to drink it is asa, to asa b'hanah. In fact, the Gemara in avodah zarah daf chav tesam at beis compares it to a zevach, to meat that was sacrificed for avodah zarah. Which yid would clearly eat that? So the Gemara says yayin nesach is also a takrayvus avodah zarah. It was sacrificed for avodah zarah. So yayin nesach is an issur chama ma'od. Even a kol shud is makis. No, if you have yayin nesech, of course you can't give it to a guy. You can't have any drop of hanah. Giving to a guy is a form of hanah. So you don't have to come on to the issur chayra. Issur yayin nesech is asa b'hanah. But I'm not talking about yayin nesech. I got a bottle of wine from a goyish acquaintance. I don't think he poured for avodah zarah. I don't know. So this is another sugya called stam yenam. Stam yenam is goyish wine that is really undefined. We don't know what he did with it. Maybe he sacrificed, maybe he didn't. So the Gemara says the mere fact that it might have been used for avodah zarah, it's a suffix of avodah zarah. We have to treat it like avodah zarah. Also, don't forget, minimally, just like we don't eat bishul or pas akum al chalila coming to chasas with goyim, into marrying, wine is more of a relationship former. So therefore, besides the concern of avodah zarah, there's also the concern of chasnus. So there are two reasons why we don't drink stam yenam. Either the chashash of avodah zarah, or minimally chasnus. So Taisvis and avodah zarah daf chav tesam et beis. Why do you need two reasons? Taisvis is beautiful. If it had only been the issa chasnus, it would be mutter b'hanah. Just like bishalak and pasakim is mutter b'hanah. But now that it's also a concern of avodah zarah, stam yenam is asur b'hanah. So Rabbi say, for all practical purposes, whether it's yayin nesech or stam yenam, you can't regift it. Because minimally it's asur b'hanah. And you can't have enough from stam yenam. And that's taka why we don't regift stam yenam. The question is, today in Tafshin Pei, is it really so true that stam yenam might have been used for avodah zarah? I mean, today no one is into avodah zarah. People are into wine, not avodah zarah. What are the chances a bottle of wine was sacrificed? So this question is not just negated Tafshin Pei. The Rishonim speak about it, because Goyim then already, they were scattered hadaris by Goyim, and they don't believe in avodah zarah, and stam yenam is no longer sacrificed. So if you look in the Torah, in the beginning of Kuf Chav Gimel, a number of Rishonim say stam yenam today is not suspect of avodah zarah. You can't drink it because it's not different than pas or bishalakum. But stam yenam today is not asabana. Of course, the problem with this is, can we change a gzeir d'Rabbana? You have to have a minyan achal atira. And also we're talking about a suffix in avodah zarah. And this is why the Mechab in Kuf Chav Gimel says stam yenam of today is awesome. No, nothing has changed. It's asa b'hana, albeit midrabanan, but it's an issa d'Rabbanan of stam yenam, asa b'hana, and certainly shtiyah. So according to the Mechaber and that taka v'achenu asvardim, a bottle of wine today is regular stam yenam, that's asa b'hana, and certainly you can't regift it. However, the Ramah, I think, leaves somewhat of a mixed message. Bizman hazeh, some say is mutter, but lemaisa he says yash lahachmir. And then he says, Makam Hechsher, you could be Mekel, V'yesh Makilim, V'toivel hachmir. The Ramah seems to be Mekel Mikad Din. He writes, L'chatchila also l'knoisei, toivel hachmir. In fact, the Chachmas Adam in Ayin Hey Yud Dalet says, some are Mekel with stam yenam today to have hanah, but a Bal Nefesh should be Machmir V'yatzliach. You have a bracha of the Chachmas Adam. The Mamshik, in a very interesting tshuva in Simon Kuf Nun and Yeridei, was asked, a Rav told someone to spill out stam yenam. And someone accused the Rav of wasting Yiddish geld. Because the Ramah holds that stam yenam today is mutter b'hana. Why give spill out? Give it to a guy as a gift. So he asked the Mamshik, did I do something wrong? So Mamshik said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. Hayari is Devar Hashem, u'madagdik b'mitzvahs, and there's not a big hefsid. Should be choishish that stam yenam today is awesome. Like the Mechaber and like the Ramah says, toivel hachmir. So I can't say it's wrong to have enough from it, but it's not wrong to be machmir. As I said, the Mamshik. So to drink stam yenam today, all agree is awesome. To have hana from stam yenam today, for Svardim, the Mechaber sheet, it's still awesome. The Ramah says it might be mutter, toivel hachmir. Now let me ask you a different question. So, could I go out and buy a case of non-kosher wine and give it to the Goyish workers, and I'll save probably a nice amount of money on if by not buying the kosher brand? So here we come to an interesting question. Is there an issa schayra by stam yenam? Are you wondering, what's the shayla? We said the Shulchan Aruch the fair is by Isory d'Rabbanan, there's no stam yenam, there's no issa schayra. You'll not have an akum store. So what's wrong with stam yenam? It's also only be d'Rabbanan. True. But then again, the stam yenam originally was asabana, different than all other isory d'Rabbanan. And Rabbi, who says that there is an issa of schayr by stam yenam? The original Hagoyis Maimon that we began with. The Hagoyis Maimon that we began with says you're allowed to collect a chayiv of treifa meat, and yayin shel goy oishar dvarim tmeim. Right, you're allowed to collect. Aval liknais yayin nesech oidog tomei oishar dava asa v'liknai goyim is asa. Now he puts together yayin nesech with dog tomei. Zokti Mampadav in the Tshuva and Siman Ayin Vav, yes. He's not talking about yayin nesech. In his time it wasn't yayin, it was stam yenam. Stam yenam is like any other issa that there is an issa of schayra. And the Rav in Mishnayis, Shviyas, Perek Zayin, Mishnah Gimel, and I saw the Kafachayim, Yeridea, Kuf Yud Zayin, Ayin Ches, quote other shitas that hold that by stam yenam there is an issa of schayra, even though it's only midrabanan, and besides the issa of hana, like the Mechaba, even like the Ramah, perhaps there's no issa hana, but schayra is awesome. Now, to me, it's a little of a chiddush because the Rama himself says some are makel to buy it, but yesh lahachmir. The Pischei Tshuva and Sivkot and Beis and the Darkei Tshuva and Sivkot and Gimel say the minig in their day was that Yidden did sell stam yenim. That seemed to be a Yiddish business. In fact, the Mamshik also acknowledges that Yidden sold stam yenim. They weren't machmir. But we could say the following. Let's be very clear. If someone has yayin esech, which is very rare today, of course, there's nothing to talk about. Asaban no. Stam yenim today to go to, if someone got it, to regift it for Svardim is vada yasab, for Ashkenazim toivel hachmem yikidin is mutter. To go and sell, to buy and give away or sell stam yenim, there are many poskim that hold that's an issur, which is independent of the issur of hanah, and that should not be done. Imagine the following shaila: the goyt in the house poured wine, whatever case was, but made kosher wine into stam yenim. So you can't drink it. Can you tell, oh, you know what, you made it, take it. You know, like choyt and iska. You made my mind treif, gesundheit, take it. That's a problem. Because if this would be a concern of stam yenim, maybe even yayin esach, you don't know her intentions, but definitely this is real stam yenim. So we have to realize, according to the Mechaba, this is asabano, loitarma. There might be a tzad to be makel if it's just stam yenim without the concern of avodah zarah. But one thing I will say, any situation that a person has a isuri hano, it's not a hechsher to give to a guy. Someone by mistake bought chametz of Pesach. A few years ago there was a tumult about the beer or about the schnapps. So he can't drink it. It's asabano. To give it to a guy is an issur of hano. And without buying it to give, just the mere matana of isuri hano is us. Now, l'maisa, if they would make a yayin mevushal made by goyim, l'char, that would take away the problem of stam yenim. But it's almost impossible. I'll tell you why. Because when the guy starts to make the wine, at the first early stage, it becomes yayin esech. Then you cook it afterwards, you can't reverse the issur. When do we rely on bishul when a Yiddish company makes wine, betachas akashris, and they plug in the mavushal, which circumvents any foreseeable issur of yayin esech? But if a guy makes wine, it's yayin esech probably before the bishul sets in, so it's just not practical. And also, b'chlal, bishul is supposed to at least ruin the taste of wine, and goyim are not going to make mavushal just to satisfy a potential one or two Yiddish customers. Wine, as you see, is not a good idea to buy as a non-kosher wine, of course, to buy as a gift. Yayin mavushal and give a friar person is a much better option. Again, you have to be concerned about the lack of bracha. What is a good idea to give to my goyish worker? I can't give him a Judaic book or something. So anything that's issur d'rabbanan. Now I'm giving examples and being very careful. Whether it's chocolate or any other foods, if it's only an issur d'rabbanan, whether it's chalav akum, pas akum, bishul akum, if it's only an issur d'rabbanan, you could give the gift lechatchil, you could buy it and give it. There's no problem of schayr, there's no problem of isuri hanah. Now someone said, but how about if it contains gelatin? And if gelatin is also, it's issur d'raisa. That's why I'm being careful. You have to buy a gift that you know the mitzias, the current mitzias, that this item at worst is only isuri d'rabbanan, then you're allowed to make schayr with it, you're allowed to buy it to give. If you find a wine that was manufactured by Muslims, then that wine you could probably give as a gift. Because Muslim wine, Mechabas says, even Mechabas makel, that they definitely don't do avodah zarah like the atheists of the Mechabas times. There's no issur of no chash avodah zarah. So it's only regular tarfus, and if the tarfus in the wine is only d'rabbanan, that would be a gift. So you're not allowed to drink it. You're not allowed to drink it. Of course you're not allowed to drink it. But to give it as a gift is mutter. And I'd like to leave them with two fascinating shilas, and hopefully I'll get some feedback, because both of them I hope I have a clarity. Here's the question. Someone gave you, your Goyish acquaintance gave you a gift of Isurei Hano. Whatever it is, a basa b'chalav item, very expensive. You can't use it, you can't have Hano. Can I go to the store and get a money back refund or exchange it for a kosher item or a non-food item. So this someone asked me. So it reminded me of a more common question. It happened a few years ago when there was a whole tumult about the schnapps they found out to be chametz al Pesach. Someone bought schnapps after Pesach and found out that this particular schnapps was chametz al Pesach. So effectively, it's asa b'hana. So now he has isana in his possession. Can he go back to the store and demand a money refund? Or someone bought pet food, which he didn't realize there was basa b'challah that was cooked together. So can he return it and get a non-basa b'challah pet food? So the only easy shaila is, if you bought chametz Shavuot Pesach by a Yiddish soicha that was unaware that it was chametz Shavuot Pesach, obviously, so that's a bona fide mekach tois. He's not allowed to sell it, not allowed to buy it. If it's a mekach tois, it wasn't a sale mikar. So now let's think. I have chametz isana in my hand. If I return it, I'm getting money. I'm getting hana. But that's the catch. When you return an item that was a mekach tois, retroactively it was never a mechira. So it was never a mechira. I'm not having enough from isana. I'm just reversing the whole mechira. So when it's a mekach tois, you're not reselling it to the seller. You're invalidating the mechira meikar. So I'm not having enough from any issuri hanah. So that is easy for me to say it's perfectly mutter. But the other two questions, the gift that was given, the issuri hanah, was not a toy. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not defective. Or you bought pet food in a goyish store. So why don't you check it? Look at the label. There's nothing wrong. It's not defective item. So you want to sort of sell it back. Who said that's mutter? So that's what I would have thought. But I saw in a wonderful sefer, Kamar said Iisur, I know it's page 54, he quotes Rabbi Shlomo Miller. So Miller says that since there is, in the business world, a return policy, so it's also mutter to return it. They give you the rights to return it. Don't ask questions. You're allowed to return it. Now, first I couldn't understand it, but he even added a little of a raya, because a friend of his told him, the fact that you return the item and you get back even the sales tax is a raya, you're not selling it back to them. You're just invalidating the whole mechira. Now, what I understood afterwards is that you're right. Al pi Torah, when you buy pet food, it's not a mekach tois. There's nothing wrong with the pet food. But the wonderful country we live in are very generous, and they give you a right to just hit the cancel button. So it's a bittul mekach, even though it's not a mekach tois. So what's the stira? My mashal is that some people sell things a 7-day trial basis. Just return it unconditionally. People, they buy a gown the day of the chasana, use it for the 6 days of Shabbos brachas, and they return it. Of course, it's wrong, but that it fits into to this mold. You're allowed to make a bittul mekach. So the point is, if they give you the rights to make a bittul mekach, so you're not selling it back, you're invalidating the mechir. Now, I want to make a point to make it a little clearer. Someone told me a true story. He went to a store, and instead of buying the red milk, the regular milk, he bought a blue milk, the fat-free milk. And they have a very strict return policy. But he found out the milk costs the same, red and blue. So he went into the store, and he's going to teach him a lesson, and he brought the red milk he bought and put it back, and took the blue milk and walked home, and he returned it. So now the store has his milk, and he stole the blue milk. Why? Because you bought the milk. You can't change it. If they allow you to change it, so that's fine. But you can't just change things. But when it comes to a policy of 7 days, whatever it is, return policy, they're giving you the rights. So to return something, even if it's not a mekach tois, is bittul mekach. So, can I take the gift that someone gave me, the issur hanah, and change it to get back money or an item? The answer is chas v'shalom. Why? Because then I'm benefiting directly from issuri hanah. I had nothing. A guy gave me issuri hanah. So I'm getting something instead. So I'm getting hanah from issuri hanah. The other case that I bought pet food, I put my money down. So I'm getting back money for what I put down. So that's not hanah. That's just bittul mekach. Here it's no mekach. Here I'm using the issuri hanah to get an item. I think that's pashut. I hope that's pashut. And achrei chaviv, imagine the following thing. A person did some research, what should he buy his goyish worker? He says, I don't know, buy this, buy that. I have a good idea. I'm going to give him a $100 gift certificate to his local supermarket. Let him buy what he wants, and malu tzara hazois. But he's not a very rich fellow. He's going to buy basic staples. He's going to definitely buy nevelas utreifas with part of the gift certificate. Is that your problem? Is that schar b'dvarim hasurim? In other words, if you give a gift certificate that he will probably use for nevelas utreifas, is that your problem? And I guess the same question is if you use a surah or no. So the truth is, this is pashut. If I give my worker a $100 bill, say, you know what, buy what you want. Even though he says, great, I'm going to buy you steak for supper. There's no shiloh whatsoever, it's mutter. Because I didn't buy issur, I didn't buy nevelas utreifas. I gave him money. But consider this question. You tell the goyish worker, you buy in your supermarket, and I'll foot the bill. I'll pay the $100, whatever it is. Is that worse? Or how about even better? You say, I went to the store, I prepaid your purchase. Pick out what you like, it's on the house. I paid for it already. So that's not like giving money. The question is a gift certificate similar to I'll pay later or I prepaid? So Baruch Hashem, we have a reiche Torah. All our three shaylos are Meferish Mechaber in Taf Nun Sivav. The Mechaber says if you have on Pesach, if you have a worker, an eved even, you're allowed to give him money and say, go buy lunch. Even though he's going to buy chametz. I chametz asabano, but you're not buying chametz, so that's fine. Then the Mechaber adds, Avaloi yoim aloi tzei v'achoyel v'ani pareya. Don't say, go buy and I'll pay for it. Why? Because you're having enough from chametz. You didn't touch the chametz. Zog the Mishtabura, it's a shlichus. You're telling him, I'm going to pay for it, it's like I'm buying it. But the Mechaber says, v'yesh matirim gam bezeh. They're makilim, and that's where the Mishtabura paskins. Why? Because at the end of the day, I didn't buy chametz. He bought chametz for himself. I'm paying for him. That's like I'm giving him $100 to buy it. But he bought it. I have nothing to do with the purchase. So the yesh matirim hold, I didn't buy the chametz. He bought the chametz. I'm giving him the money to pay for it. That's not any worse than if I give him the money up front. La Lachad, Mr. Brewer says you should be machmir, but it's mutter. But listen to the punchline. It's mutter to tell him buy. Ela imkein higdim dinar. If you went to the store and you prepaid his purchase, all agree is awesome. In fact, the Mishnah Berurah says even if it's only a suffix, if he buys chametz, it's awesome. Now, what's the logic? It's beautiful. If you prepaid his purchase, that means you bought his purchase. So if he doesn't end up buying chametz, you're okay. But once he bought chametz, is l'mafreya, what did you buy when you prepaid for that purchase? You bought chametz. That case, all agree is awesome. So now, let's look at a gift certificate. What is the mechanics of a gift certificate? It's the simplest prepaid item. You bought $100 of merchandise in the store. It will be nizbarer what I bought when the guy picks it out. But then it comes out that what he bought, I originally paid for and I bought. So the kol hadayis, that would be asa. I couldn't talk to you one.
Shem Egan Shir, like the biggest character of Smith for today's share. I'd like to remind Eilam the new schedule for the daily shiurim is on the beamer for the next few weeks. Tomorrow is a guest speaker from Eretz Yisrael of Pinchas Friedman. Special Josh Ben Echanik Erich Miyuchad from Eretz Yisrael. I'm supposed to say this seekum 5 minutes.
Prepaid item means you paid for the items you bought it, and as if you paid for it and he can keep it. So that's what your friend is. Of course, yeah. Over the developments of the world. No. That's legally. I walk in the store and I say, I go to the shop. Yeah? I walk in the store, can I buy $100 for the store? I bought $100 worth of goods in the store. Part of it is to use for me. It's a nice way to do it, but it's even more so. I always say with Machav hold that case, even in other cases, case where they buy not that when I see that I didn't buy no shot for the thing. Buy after. Unless you pay afterwards. You get it. Oh, it's different. You get my credit. Let's say I have. If you didn't buy it from this store, you have money power. And you have that's good.
Right? You say give them the money power.
Order from the store.
There's a money power to this store. Obviously, there's a money power to this store.
Yes, it is.
There's a money power to this store.
Never answers such a
Have a new night.
I
But you buy for like a soon, that's what you want.
I was very careful not to give any details. Moving the wine is okay. Both bottles are okay. Shaking vigorously or pouring it. You have a way to pour wine. Right to, as opposed to wait. Oh, this yeah. Moving close out, no shine. Close. Those not to be wrong shame. That's the whole circuit. I'm not exactly keep it open if you don't shake it, if you watch it, go keep it. After all is said and done, in the house it could be ayin stam yena, and then you should have enough of it. Hopefully works, I hope. At least they beat the house we got. Simcha. Tell me one you don't get a message. That's even out.
What is? I saw something they sell gloves. Gloves?
Yeah.
Selling gloves for years. I bought gloves from my yeah. But these are the touch gloves. What I gloves you buy?
Yeah. Where's Simcha, no? That downstairs. Constantly stories that they do. You understand? Would you be any better? I don't believe in something.
If
I don't know the mercy for holiday gift. Holiday gifts. Then you have to holiday. See your gift. When you even say happy holiday, the Quran is also like saying concert. What does that mean?
How come you see all these little things that in the season now, when the gift gifts, it's all from a kosher code.
That's right. What's that?
That's a single.
You see how we can get it?
We keep trying.
No, you can't. They say that. How many gifts? Gift. Not guilt. It's a happy holiday. That's indirectly. You have to go out of here. It's not a holiday.
it doesn't mean nothing today. But it doesn't mean today. They don't believe it today. They don't know what's going on.
No, better.
As it's done,
It's
Most of them don't even go to church. They don't even know. It's mamash. Mamash. Huh? Went out someplace.
Okay, but I was going to say it's a special gift from Rabbi Smith, but it's the usual weekly gift of the Sikkim. Shh.
Just to review what we learned today, Bez Hashem, we saw that gifts are a very important way of expressing Hakaras HaTov, and it's a thing that Yidden should do. It's Hakaras HaTov is the base of Yiddishkeit, and gifts particularly is an investment for the future. It's Haidah La'ovar, Bakasha La'asid, and Hakaras HaTov should be shown even to Goyim. When there's a taina of Kach Ois, we have to be careful that we have to act with the dark Genoyim. That is our greatness, and a gift is a wonderful way of expressing that Hakaras HaTov. A tip we found the Makar in the Torah, that's the mitzvah of Hanukkah. A hostess gift is a Makar in the Megillah Chavav, that it was almost demanded, but certainly we should do it with a sense of simcha and avoid at any cost a reaction of Kach Oisin. That's the way Yidden react. That's a gruesome Chil Hashem that has to be avoided. Giving a gift of non-kosher food to a fraya person, of course, is absolutely also. That's lifnei iva. Even if he doesn't care, we have to care. Give him food that he won't make a bracha on, or bread that he won't wash until Yadayim, is also lifnei iva. Better give him either a non-food does not require tefillah, or give him a book on his level, something that again is not provocative. It's something that he'll feel honored to get. But those things will avoid any question of lifnei iva. Geniva's das is a serious issur. Chazal say it's worse than Geneva, but regifting what you received is not a concern of Geniva's das. That's iu da'atei nafshe. Unless you do something that try to give the impression you bought it, you put in a receipt, or you say something, but stam iu da'atei nafshe is a hechsher in this situation. There's an issur, the rice of giving a matnas chinam, but it's precisely those words chinam. If you owe Hakaras HaTov, you're allowed to give a gift. If you have a vision for the future, he'll work better. It's also mutter. A tip that's expected is mutter. It's only a matnas chinam that its only intention is to creating goodwill and a relationship with the non-Jew. Isory hanea is surely also to give or exchange. That's the issur hanea. Nevelis utreifus are mutter b'hanea, but there's an issur schayra. That's the issur deraisa of pashtas of schayra. But if you got a gift of something that's also is a schayr, you got a gift of veils treifus, that's not called schayr to regift it. That's nizdamein. Nizdamein is mutter. Anytime that you didn't go out and buy it, if you got it, even you got a Yerusha somehow, or you got it from a bankrupt company, you're allowed to use that money, you're allowed to use that treif meat and sell it. That is nizdamein, not schayr. Yayin nesach is absolutely yasa, even bahana, even a kolshu, and stam yena always was asa bahana. Today's stam yenem, the svardim and mechaba holds there's no difference. It's still asa bahana. The Ramah says it's mutter mikredin, but you should be machmir. But stam yenem could be the issur of schayra. So buying tray for wine is not a good idea. That's stam yenem. And giving as a gift, that would be a problem. Even to regift a wine that you received at stam yenem, there's a tzad to be machmir, lalacha, there's what to be mekel. A goyisha person that made stam yenam, it should be considered isory like many shitas, and should not be used. Mavushal is not practical by a goy, but if there is a mavushal that's kosher, that would be an idea. Returning a gift of Isurei Hanah, we said, is asa al Tanah. But returning a purchase of Isurei Hanah that you bought, if it's within the return period, that would be a bittul mekach, and it's okay. And giving a gift certificate that you prepaid for the item the guy will buy, even if it's only a suffix, then he'll buy tafres. If he does buy tafres, that would be your problem of schayra b'dvar masurim. Back to you. If you saw that.